Hello, my name is Diana Daccak, and today I will present you an introduction to red wine production. What is wine? Wine is an alcoholic beverage resulting from the fermentation in whole or in part of fresh grapes or their must. Regarding the raw material, a bunch of grapes consists of a herbaceous part the stem and succulent part the berry. The grape itself consists of skin containing yeast responsible for spontaneous fermentation, seeds, and the pulp. Relatively to wine composition, consists of water, alcohol, sugars, acids, and phenolic compounds. Phenolic compounds such as anthocyanins and tannins have an important role in the color of the wine, and also an antioxidant character. In addition, the tannins provide an astringency and bitterness. Now I will talk about the stages of red wine production. The first step is the harvest, where grapes are dumped into a trailer and then unloaded into a recipient. In the reception, grapes pass through quality control, being done an analytical and sanitary evaluation and being traceability confirmed. Besides, grapes are weighted and it is checked for foreign objects that can be harmful to the operation of the machines. Depending on grapes' phytosanitary status, producers add sulfur dioxide to prevent the development of undesirable microorganisms. And in this stage, pectolytic enzymes are added too, acting on the pectin of the cell wall, facilitating access to grape components. The next stage is called the stemming, which consists on separating the grapes from the stems, the herbaceous part. Also, in this step, grapes are crushed, causing the rupture of the membranes of the grapes, promoting the start of fermentation and facilitating the pumping into the vats. Here's a video of this step. Then the must and the masses are disinfected with sulfur dioxide in the refrigerated pipes, inhibiting microbial flora and undesirable fermentation. Then tubes led to the fermentation vat, where the fermentation process will begin with the yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae. First, the alcoholic fermentation takes place, where the sugars will be converted into alcohol, characterized by an elevation of temperature and release carbonic gas. This can last between 7 to 20 days at a temperature of 28 degrees. During this process, there must be a high control and guidance to be regular and complete, being done measurements of density and temperature. Maceration occurs at the same time as the fermentation, consisting in the contact of the must with the grape skins, promoting the migration of tannins and anthocyanins. After the alcoholic fermentation, a process named bleeding is done, involving the separation of musts from the fermentative masses, being advantage for extraction of solids and avoid transferring unwanted aromas and destabilizing products. With fermentative masses, producers can obtain wine from the press, considering that the strength should not be exaggerated because their herbal aromas can migrate. Here's a video of bleeding and reassembly. The last phase of fermentation is the malolactic fermentation, where lactic acid bacteria transform malic acid into lactic acid, making wine more soft, occurring at lowest temperature phase alcoholic fermentation. By the end of all fermentations, the must will pass through a bonding and filtration process, being used products like bentonite for clarification, Protect Boost to remove impurities in proteins, removing turbidity once they add with you other suspensions. In terms of conservation, a cold stabilization is made for 2 to 4 days at a temperature of 4 to 5 degrees, consisting in tartaric precipitation to prevent this to happen in the bottle, being after precipitation filtrated. Then wine is transferred to larger vats, where they remains until blended or bottled. After 1 week, the level of free sulfur dioxide is checked and correct to 40 mg per liter. At this stage, several analyses are carried out in order to assure the conditions for commercialization. Before bottling, wine should pass through a sterilizing filter where the integrity and microbiological status is guaranteed. Some wines are not immediately bottled, being subjected to a maturation phase in barrels or in bottle. This provides a microoxygenation sufficient for ripening but insufficient to aerobic microbial flora. At the end, a bouquet is present, meaning the wine acquires aromas of great complexity and elegance because of the migration of compounds from wood. For the bottling process, it includes filling, corkage, labeling, and packaging. Filling process contains the pelletization, rinser, and the filling in aseptic conditions. The corking consists in bottle sealing, also performed in aseptic conditions, and in this step are added seals or aluminum foils related to marketing. Labeling process should include identification, information about the product, traceability through barcode and also marketing. This is possible across labels and against labels, cataloging stamps and acronyms, and certification seals and acronyms. After this step is the boxing and pelletizing. In sum, to produce red wine, the stages are harvest, reception of grapes, destemming and crush, fermentation and skin maceration, bleeding and press, malolactic fermentation, bonding and filtration, racking, storage, sterilizing filtration, filling, and bottled wine. Thank you for watching.